I don't know. I feel like that's just how it's going to be. Like I said, I came in as an underdog. And then once I was proven that, hey, she's pretty good at this, then there was an expectation that I put on myself of, okay, you have to be good at this. Yeah. And kind of learning to like throw that away.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to season 3 of Flipping Out with Bridget Sloan. I am your host, Bridget Sloan, and this season we are talking all things NCAA gymnastics, from the athletes to the coaches to the insiders who make it all happen. And for today's guest, Gabby Stephen. Miss Gabby Stephen, thank you so much for joining and welcome to the Flipping Out podcast.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, I think I'm a little bit more excited. I know we were talking earlier about my love. You know, I can say it. I'm a Michigan State fan. I have been for the last couple of years, and your season so far just gets me excited.
Thank you.
So I am very, very excited to dive into today's conversation. So let's just take it way back. You are one of 5 kids.
Yes.
The second oldest, but the first oldest, you're the oldest girl. But okay. What was that like? Like growing up with a house full of, I'm sure it was chaos, but controlled, of course, right?
Good chaos, always. Yes. Well, me and all my siblings were homeschooled also. So all throughout elementary school. So our mom stayed at home with us and just took us through everyone, like every single thing. We did a bunch of co-ops and different types of activities, always out and about doing something and learning. So that was super cool, but kind of adds another layer to like the chaos of it. Every single time as I get older and I think back, I'm like, oh, wow. You know, major props to my mom. Keeping all 5 kids at home alone, like that's a little bit,
that's
amazing woman.
A saint, one might say.
One might say, I shall say, a saint. Yeah, so that was super crazy. And we all do our own like athletic endeavors, but everyone's dabbled in gymnastics a little bit. I'm the only one to stick though.
So a lot of times it's kind of like you have an older sibling that does gymnastics and you try to follow in their footsteps. Was that the case for you? I know you just said that everybody's dabbled, everyone's dipped their toes into the gymnastics possibility. But how did you get started?
You know, I think I was the pioneer of the family. I was just climbing over everything. I mean, my parents always talked about how I was climbing up the shelves in the closets and climbing over the baby gates and stuff like that. I'd climb over the baby gates and straight into my brother's room and whatever. And they're like, oh, yeah, this girl, she's too much energy. I tried a few other things. As I was younger, I did cheer. I feel like that's like a rite of passage. Cheer, dance, soccer. At a young age, like, you know, the typical ones. In high school, my senior year, I did track.
Wow. Yeah. In your senior year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They kind of convinced me. They were scoping me out all 4 years of high school. Like, please do track. And then I did powder puff football, and I was the running back. And as I was running down, our athletic director, he was literally timing me when I was running the ball for a touchdown. He was like, please join. But it was an amazing experience. I don't know how I did it, but it was an amazing experience because obviously we went to public school in like middle and high school. So I was in public school at the time. And then I would go to school, go to track, then leave from track, go to practice for gymnastics.
Oh my.
But my track coach, who was amazing, he was like, I know gymnastics is your priority. Like, I just want to teach you a few things. And then like, he's like, you'll go to state, I promise. And then I went to state for 100, 200 in track. And it was awesome. It was super duper fun. 10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I've never met a gymnast that likes running.
Really?
I mean, I don't. So I just assume if gymnasts out there that do like running, like, I don't know what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried. I've given it my best.
I'm just into the sprints, only the sprints. Okay. It's like, I have to be able to see the finish line because like if we're ever doing anything that's conditioning in the gym, like people know. If I see the finish line, like I'm bolting. I'm like, I can see the end. I've got all I've got. I'm going to give it out right here. So
Oh my
if for
gosh.
like the 100, 200, those are the really quick ones. I'm like, see the finish line? Let's go.
Hey, all right. So, well, that's good to know. So, I used to always say like I'm really, really fast for like 79 feet. Like
Hmm.
79 feet. After that, mm, I start to go downhill. But so you were able to balance not only multiple sports in high school, but you were also balancing being a high school student.
Hmm.
So when did you realize, and I love asking this question because normally everybody can be like, oh, yep, I do remember this. When did you realize, hey, I'm pretty good at gymnastics?
Mm. You know, I think honestly, it was like when I got to college and I started competing. Like I was kind of came in as an underdog. Like
Okay.
Skyla, she was
Mhm.
obviously someone a lot of people knew from like Region 5 from Illinois. She was a really top recruit. And not that I wasn't amazing too, but it's just like a lot of the attention was like people knew that she was going to be amazing, which allowed me to like kind of slide under, which was
Mhm.
good for me because it allowed me to like start off with no pressure and stuff like that. And then people were like, oh, hey, she's pretty good too. And I was like, thank you guys. I'm trying.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so Region 5 for gymnastics though, like that I'm a Region 5 kid also. We were pretty dominant back in the Stone Ages when I was in Region 5. So I feel like it's always been a region that has just had really good athletes.
Mhm. There's a lot of club gyms in like, in Illinois too.
Illinois alone, yeah,
Yes. Yes, and that's where I'm from too, so, like, I think about it and I was talking like, we always get into discussions because there's a lot of Region 5 girls on our team, and I'm like,
classic.
"Oh, this is what this happened, blah, 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 blah." Like, we just all kind of know each other, which is really cool. Like, even my roommate, Jenna, she had like, a video in her Snapchat memories from, like, years before we knew each other. It was at regionals, and I was icing both of my knees, and she just took a video and put it on a private story. It was like, "Same." And then she showed me when we were roommates. She's like, "Is this you?" And it's
Oh
just
my
like the
gosh.
funniest thing ever.
That's wait. So you were icing your knees and this girl is just like zooming in.
Hmm.
Oh gosh. That you know what? That is what makes gymnastics so cool. That's what makes sports so cool. It's such a small world. Like
Hmm.
you never know and that's really cool. So you said that you kind of realized, "Hey, I'm pretty good at gymnastics before college." Or sorry, when you got to college, but
Hmm.
before college, were you like was college gymnastics always on the mind? Because especially when you're doing 2 sports, was it kinda like, "Do I dabble?"
Hmm. Yeah. So it's a path that I think I knew I wanted to go to, but I didn't
Okay.
really know what that entailed. I
Okay.
was kind of telling you before we started recording, there wasn't anybody from my gym who had graduated and gone to college. So I didn't really know what that path looked like. And
Mhm.
I guess I didn't really have anyone to look towards in that regard. So
Yeah.
it was like a really unique process in like learning with me and learning my coach. He's pretty young too. So like we're the first kind of people that he coached up to a college level. So experiencing that, both me and him, and then the other girls that were in my class was very, very interesting. But I knew it was something that I wanted to do.
Okay.
I feel like as an athlete, I didn't know where I was at comparatively to other people. I mean, it's kind of hard to like reflect on like my own skills, think about them like, oh, this is a Big Ten level, this is SEC level, this
Right.
is etc. Like whatever that means and whatever that looks like. So I feel like as a recruit, I undersold myself into where I thought I could go. And
Okay.
really, it's just like by the placement of God where I ended up ending at Michigan State because I've never regretted the decision for one day in my life, and it's an amazing place and exactly where I'm meant to be. But I was not recruited because I was very good at reaching out to the coaches. It's just Whitney was at one of the Region 5 camps and she saw me working out one of the days. I was in the same group as Skyla, who was already
Mhm.
committed to Michigan State. It was just like all the pieces falling into place because that's where I was supposed to be.
You know what? And it's crazy how the universe works like that. They always say that when you go to a college and when it's the right college, it feels like home. But there's also an element of, sometimes you don't even know what home kind of feels like.
Mhm.
And then when the puzzle pieces fall into place, you're like, "Oh, this is it. This is the feeling people
Mhm.
talk about."
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Gosh, it kinda gives me chills. I miss the recruiting process. If I could go back, it was
Really? You
fun.
missed the recruiting process.
I do. Okay, you have to understand, Gabby, I was a super late commit.
Mm.
Super, super late. I didn't even think I wanted to do college gymnastics. Like, I think I was in my sophomore year of high school, and I was like, "Meh, I don't know." And then it was, like, end of sophomore year, I think, going into junior, I was like, "Actually, I think college gymnastics would be pretty cool." And I
Mhm.
had no idea where I went. I wanted to go to Stanford. It wasn't for me.
Stop. That's
My
hilarious.
dad my dad literally said, "I don't think Stanford's the right school for you." And
At least
he
he was
was
keeping
right.
it as real as possible. We
You
can
know what?
appreciate
He
that.
he always does. He always
Mhm.
does.
Mhm. Well, the more I think about it, like as I get older, I think about these things and I'm like, we're asking high school freshmen where they want to spend their like early adult years.
Yep.
We don't know. Nobody knows and it's just partially luck, but also like your own like the more I'm here, people ask, what kind of campus do you like when you're doing recruiting stuff? I had no idea. Thankfully, I love Michigan State's campus. It's gorgeous, it's amazing. And
Perfect.
whenever we go like on away trips, I'm like, oh, I would not have liked to like live in a city.
Isn't it?
I would
Mhm.
not have liked to be at a super small school. Like it's just like all the small things that I kind of pick up from like my experience here and then us
Mhm.
traveling to a lot of places, like getting to see what other schools are like.
It is kinda cool to, like, go to other schools. Yeah. See, here's the difference between me and you. I don't know how do you go to class in the snow? Like, do you walk in the snow?
Luckily this semester, all online classes.
Okay.
So that's amazing. But in the past, when you have to go to class at 8 o'clock in the morning and I wake up and I look outside and there's snow covering, and I'm like, nobody told me it was going to snow tonight.
Mm.
Yeah, that's bad. Or one of the days we have like an 8 a.m. lift and it like pretty much blizzard outside. And I'm like, oh, I would have gotten up earlier if I knew that I had to scrape off my car
Oh my
and had to
gosh.
get ready. Like I need 20 more minutes so
Yep.
that I can be ready. But yeah.
The things you don't realize when you're stuck in, like, snow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy for you. I'm really happy that you love it. I will
Mhm.
say I used to get really jealous of y'all's jackets because you guys get, like well, you need winter coats. I
Mhm.
wanted one forever. Man, I was in Florida. Why did I need a friggin' puffer jacket? I didn't, but I wanted one. I wanted one.
I saw UCLA, they had like winter jackets, but they were super thin. And I was like, they got to travel all the way to
Yeah,
the Midwest a million times. And I'm like, I know our coats are heavy duty. Like,
right.
if anyone ever borrows it, they're like, this is the best coat ever. And I'm like, biggest blessing ever. But I'm
You're like,
like,
"I want it back."
obviously in California, they're not like repping the big down
That's
coat,
true.
puffy whatevers. So prayers out to them.
It's okay. They'll figure it out. It's their first time
Hmm.
in the Big 10.
Hmm.
They'll get it all figured out.
They will.
That kinda leads me into I haven't asked this question before, but just what do you think of the realignment
Mm.
of the different schools? 'Cause it's something that, for me, it just seemed so unheard of. Like, it just seemed such a foreign thing.
Hmm.
Obviously, I know with other sports, it kind of is a little more common, I think.
Yeah.
But with gymnastics, I've never heard of, obviously, moving conferences like that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting the landscape changing.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, them Big Ten is coast to coast now, which is always
Okay.
an interesting concept to me because I'm like, I just the travel. We did the travel to California one time, and we literally all got off the plane, feet were swollen. We took the red eye. It was
Oh.
awful flight, but
Yeah.
like that travel and that aspect of it is just the pretty much the worst part of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like specifically like for us, we only go over to California one time. But you
Mhm.
think about like UCLA and Washington, they've got to come down here more times than we go over there. So
Right.
that aspect is the worst.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Long travel days are not good for gymnasts. Like, it's just the point blank. Like, exactly, your ankles get swollen. And let me tell you, if you're if you're like me, that doesn't go away.
Yeah, I've got some issues. Like, I have knee problems that I'm like, I'm holding on. The senior
Doing
grandma
great.
body, I heard about that when I was a freshman, and I'm like, no. The
It's a real
grandma
thing.
body catches you. It's a real thing, 100%. Even when we're on the flight on the way there, luckily, when we went out there, our basketball team was traveling at the same time. So we got to hop onto their charter. We just piggybacked. And we're like, nice. On
Well
the way
done.
back, no, we just hit the red eye, hit the commercial, But we were on that flight, and I had to go to my trainer. And I was like, can you readjust my back, please? It's really, really hurting. So I tell you, I had to lay down on the plane floor because girls got to do what a girl's got to do. I needed
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. There is no shame in that game at all. You're just
No
taking care of
shame.
yourself.
Exactly. And showers exist. I just hit the showers once we got there. So it was
Beautiful.
like, it's okay.
Perfect. Okay, so you mentioned you're a senior this year.
Yes.
Which is wild.
So crazy.
But I want to kind of go back to, you mentioned you were the first collegiate athlete from your club. One of a couple, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But you were again leading that path. What was the transition like going from your club gym, now you're a student athlete at Michigan State?
I mean, it's just something you can't really even plan for. Like, everybody knows that it's going to be crazy and it's going to be different, but it's one of those things, like, you just kind of got to get through the freshman year, honestly. And that's what it was for me, like getting used to competing for a team instead of just for yourself.
Yep.
Or like, if one event doesn't go how I planned it, well, I still have X amount of other events to go for. So having a short memory in that term of like throwing that away, and I can still contribute to the team in a different way. And like learning to lean on other people with these things, and kind of like how I said, I was one of the first people to graduate from my club gym. So I kind of never really had anybody older than me or more experienced than me to look up to in my gym. So then I came to college and I'm like, oh, there's these cool seniors. Look, they've done it all before. It's so cool. Yeah. Just getting to like see that and see like the different levels of like how a team and the dynamic works.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't an easy transition by any means, but like, I don't know. I feel like that's just how it's going to be. Like I said, I came in as an underdog. And then once I was proven that, hey, she's pretty good at this, then there was an expectation that I put on myself of, okay, you have to be good at this. Yeah. And kind of learning to like throw that away. Like one of the things that I've really focused on in like the past 2 years or whatever is staying off of the media, good, bad, or otherwise.
Good for you.
I don't want to know what it says. Like, I used to love being on Twitter. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's Twitter saying today? Because sometimes there's funny things on there, but sometimes there's bad things on there. And I'm like, good, bad, or otherwise, it doesn't matter what any of these other people have to say about me, about the team, about other teams, about whatever. Gotta be away.
You know what? You got to protect your peace, and whatever that looks like, I am all for it. I think I'm it's funny. I didn't really deal with that as much. I don't remember dealing with it as much in college, but definitely nowadays, like it's really easy to go down that dark hole, and sometimes it's not very nice.
No, sometimes it's not very nice.
Yeah. So I commend you, and I think it is so great that you are protecting your peace. You're taking care of yourself, it sounds like.
It's mostly Twitter. Like. Twitter is the gymternet loves Twitter.
Yep, they do.
They do.
And you know what? We love that for them. We love that for them.
Maybe I can resubscribe after I graduate.
There you go. Hey, you, again, always protect your peace, whatever that looks like. So you're in your senior season.
Yes.
We are, gosh, what month are we in? We're into February already. Jeez. How has it been this season so far?
It's been really good. I
Okay.
mean, we started off my freshman year breaking records, and so
Yeah,
it was
you
really
did.
good to start off this season again breaking our program opening record. It's kind of been a lot of like after my freshman year, we had a big graduating class, but then those
Mhm.
2 middle years, we didn't really lose that many athletes off of our team.
Yeah.
So then this year, we lost a few more people than what was normal. So kind of just bringing in the new people and watching them get experience and watching them show out at these meets is really interesting, or not interesting. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
great, but it's hard. It's a hard
Mhm.
transition for even them or for just watching and learning how everyone competes, what everybody needs, and
Mhm.
just finding that balance. So that's been really cool. But it's been a great season so far, especially like watching our vault lineup kill. I mean, it's one of the most exciting parts of the meet, really. I love
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. But for myself personally, I mean, obviously I have a lot of things that I want to achieve this year and that I want our team to achieve. Like we've been wanting to go to nationals these past few years, but it's really the path that we are on for this year.
Mhm.
Um, and kind of just building week to week and competing only against ourselves, no matter
Yeah.
who we're against and who we're facing. There's always things that we can take away from each meet and knowing that and attacking those things in the gym. So, like for me, I've upgraded my vault to a 1.5, which is something that
Heck yeah.
is hard, but it's something that I really, really want to do. Um, I've achieved perfection on my Yurchenko full. And so now that's something I'm striving for that 10. I
I
feel
love
like
it.
I can hit it. So yeah, it's definitely a big goal, but something that is not going to come easy. So I've
Yeah.
been really proud of the progress that I've been making from the past few years because I did 1.5s my junior year
Okay.
and they just weren't really consistent in the landing. It was something that was hard for me to be brave in my landings because I'm not used to the blind landing at all. I do double
Mhm.
fulls on beam. I did a full on vault. I do
Mhm.
a full in on bars.
Yeah.
So just that full landing is what's so ingrained in my body.
Yeah,
So
it's normal. Yeah.
learning that half landing has been something like no other.
Your vault was actually it was a topic of conversation a lot because obviously in the vault lineup, everybody thinks, "Oh, they need to be doing 10-0 start values. They have to be doing." Actually, sometimes when you do the 995 start value, you're actually doing better and getting a better score. And it was always your vault that it was like, see, Gabby does a full. Gabby goes 995 on a full. Why would you want to it's like why would you want to change it?
Mm-hmm.
Now this year I think it's awesome that you have added that half and are going for it. I mean, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like gymnastics sometimes it's like, yeah, why not? Like it's just gymnastics, but why not go for it?
Exactly. That's the fun of it. The fun of it is
Yeah.
doing new skills. Like, yes, obviously we're going for perfection, and yes, I want to get the highest score possible. And people have their opinions all
Mhm.
otherwise of if I should do a full, if I should do a 1.5. But hey, I'm doing a 1.5, so that's obviously the decision that I made and my coaches made, and
Heck yeah.
something that we're working with. So, I mean, yeah.
I see nothing wrong with it. I think it's awesome. And
Thank you.
honestly, the fact that you're doing it your senior season is really impressive because normally you get to senior season, you're like, amazing. I've been doing these routines for years. This is perfect. And you're like, actually, I would like to upgrade. Yeah, let's do it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
No
that is
cruising through. No cruising.
I love it. I love it. So we just kind of talked about vault, but your floor and your beat, I mean, you really excel. I would consider you're an all-around athlete. Is that fair
Thank
to
you.
say? I mean,
Yeah,
that's yeah,
thank you.
yeah. What would you say is your favorite event to practice on? Or what is your favorite event when you're in practice? And what is your favorite event when you're competing?
Okay, the two flip flop beam and vaults are the ones that, yeah,
Okay.
beam and vault are
Okay.
up there. Especially, I like vault, nice and quick to the point.
My gosh.
Yes, I
Okay.
like to just be powerful and do vault, especially when I was doing fulls. I mean, I just didn't really have
You
to think
flew.
about it.
No,
I
you
could
literally
just
went,
do it.
"Pew." You
hmm
flew.
especially in practice, I'm like, couple fulls and then I'm done. Let's go. Nice,
Okay.
easy practice. It's obviously a little more difficult now, but still gratifying. Beam, no feeling like hitting a beam routine. Literally none, unmatched, especially as anchor, because sometimes like there's the added pressure of if somebody fell before you or just whatever it is, being the last person to go in the lineup. So I love competing an amazing beam routine. That's my favorite thing ever. And I also like practicing beam, like just doing scales on beam. I'm like, so fun. Yay. So those are my tops. I don't dislike floor. It's just like I don't really like dancing that much. So I feel a little bit more awkward than I do like I'm having fun. This floor routine though, I do really like this one. And I like playing to my teammates and stuff like that. So that's always fun. And bars, sorry Mike, love you. Not my favorite. It's gotten way better. Our relationship, me and bars, we're as locked in as we've ever been. But
that's amazing.
Still not my fave.
I mean, your favorite event was my least favorite event, so we have that going for us. Vault was my like enemy.
Really?
Yeah. I was not a power athlete. I was a bars and beam girl, like, just let me cruise. See, those were my cruising events.
Bars and vault, those are the hit or miss events. It's like a coin toss. Either people love it or they hate it. It's
That's fair.
I feel like people aren't really indifferent about it.
That's true. That's a very good point. It's very true. Yeah. Okay, so we've got your favorite events, but talk to me a little bit about what last year meant, because you guys hit a huge milestone last year of winning Big Tens.
Big Ten tournament. Yes.
It was a big one. It was a
big one. Yes. That was super amazing. I mean, especially having that at home too, that environment unmatched. And kind of like I was saying with the beam routine, getting to hit it underneath that pressure. Like at the end, I was the last person going, like everything else in the meet had finished. So kind of having that, like, my dad's always like, that's top 5 sports moments ever. I'm like, yay. Glad I could give you that. But
that's so cool.
Yeah, no, that is just the past 3 years that we've been here, they kind of build upon each other and they each get more monumental one after the other. And it just wants us, like, it makes us strive for more year after year. Like we did that last year and obviously that's something we want to hit again. But it's always cool to like think, wow, people can look back in history and the year that we won Big Tens, like my name is going to be a part of that list. My name is a part of these people that are making history at Michigan State. Like, wow, that is something that not a lot of people get to say. So making history in this place alongside amazing people is just amazing.
It's pretty cool. And you're doing a really good job at it. I mean, your entire team is doing a great job of it. But
thank you.
You guys, that was, I don't know what an in-state rivalry is like. Mind you, you guys have like, what, 4? There's Western, Eastern, Central, State, and Michigan. 5.
We have the most out of any state, or
no doubt,
right?
No doubt. There's no way that there could be, but I'm putting you guys as number 1. So thanks. Yeah, that is wild. Talk to me just a little bit about like what the Michigan State rivalry is like.
You know, I think it's so cool because, you know, whether we're at Michigan or whether Michigan's here, people will show out for those meets.
Always.
Like even for other sporting events here, like if it's Michigan State, I'm like, okay, campus is going to be crazy. Like does not matter what the sporting event is. So that is a super duper cool aspect of it.
That is cool.
And I mean, gymnastics, you know, like we compete against these teams, but there's so much love between them too. Like there's people on the team that I love saying hi to every single time when I see them and stuff like that. But no, the energy of going to the places, I think is something that's super unique. And it's not like, it really doesn't have as much animosity as some of the other rivalries do. Like Ohio State, Michigan, like we know they do their things, cross out the M's, cross out the whatever it is. But it's like the big brother, little brother. We don't really like that saying because we're the little little brother, but
Oh, okay.
we get to show out. So
I love it.
I don't know. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I've always just I've loved it. I've loved watching, like, in-state rivalries because 'cause I'm like, I don't know what that's like, but it seems really cool, but I almost
Mhm,
feel like nowadays, no matter what conference you're in, it's a rivalry. I mean, you guys in the Big 10 have got some amazing talent, and
mhm.
would you think it's fair to say that there's very few, if not any, like, easy weekends?
Yeah, no, there's not. I mean, especially we just had UCLA, then
Mhm.
Minnesota, Ohio State, Michigan. Like, come
Yeah,
on, it's
yeah,
pretty difficult. And we have a lot of teams in the top 25. So, like, every single weekend. And that's why we kind of try and bring the focus back to us. Like,
yeah,
everything's about us. That's what Mike will say a lot, but like, truly meaning that in, like, not looking to what the other team is doing. It's just,
right?
what are we doing and how are we improving upon ourselves? Yeah, because it's not like in other sports how you do affects the other team. It's just how you do is how you do, how they do is how they do. And we can't make them do better or worse because we're going head to head.
Yeah. That makes sense, that makes sense. Okay, so I don't wanna talk about the future too much, but I did wanna ask what your plans were just post-college, whenever that is. Not I
Oh
don't like to
God.
say post-sport, I just like to say post-college. If you have any plans, and if you don't, that is perfectly okay.
I don't have anything concrete or anything. Like, I'm just gonna go home, figure out what my life looks like right now.
Mhm.
I'm in the like I have a very light semester, so I'm looking at what jobs are going to look like for me and stuff like that. But I'm really excited to have a summer for myself. I was like looking, I'm
Okay.
like, okay, maybe I'm going to do this, and then after I can do this, and I was like, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. Well, who cares? Where do I have to be? Not at
That's
practice.
right.
That I don't have to be at practice. Like, just kind of having that aspect. There's so many things that maybe I wanted to do when I was younger.
Mhm.
Like, I always wanted to go snowboarding. Always. But that doesn't
Okay.
really coincide with
That's fair.
gymnastics time. And now, what am I going to be doing come next winter? Snowboarding. I
I
will
am
be.
really excited for you.
Catch me on the slopes.
Okay, heck yeah.
Yes.
I would recommend doing a lesson before you go. That's just my one recommendation.
Okay.
Just
That's noted.
yep, yep, and then
Hmm.
go crazy. Have fun. Wear your
Exactly.
helmet, have fun. It's gonna be awesome.
Exactly.
Oh,
But just enjoying free time,
yeah.
really, and seeing what that looks like.
Mhm.
And then obviously, job, that's
Yep.
all going to come. That's all going to come. Not really worried about it right now
You shouldn't
because,
be.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I just like to ask because it's perfectly okay not knowing. Like,
Hmm.
that is I don't know is actually a very acceptable answer and ask, "What are you gonna do in the future?" "I have no idea, but I'm gonna
Hmm.
figure it out."
I will.
And that's fine, and that's totally fine. Um, okay, so what would you say your personal goal is for this season?
Mm, let's see. I know I have a list, but let me think of let me think of some major ones. I want to get an individual Big Ten title.
Okay.
Hmm. And also a 10. Those are my two big ones, 10. And I feel like there's so many places in which I can get it, so many events that I
Mhm.
do every single weekend. I'm very fortunate to get to compete all around. Even though it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of work, but
Mhm.
pressure is privilege. Pressure is privilege.
Yep.
So it's really cool. And yeah, striving for that 10.
I love that. The 10 will come. Don't I promise you it
Don't
will
force
come.
it.
Yep. And mm, yep. I promise you it will come, and it'll probably come when you're least expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. 'Cause I think it's so judging is just I mean, it's frustrating. And we don't have to get into the weeds on that, but
Mm-hmm.
it is frustrating when you think you did something perfectly and then, they
Mm-hmm.
find the deduction. So, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Yes, one of those things you can't control at all.
Exactly.
So, yes, I mean, sometimes we get back inquiries and we look at the thing and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, mm,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep, it's one of these.
Okay.
All right.
You're in charge.
It is. I mean, gosh, it's so challenging. And what makes me so like not heated, but I just like have to take a deep breath is it's almost like people don't realize you're aware. Like you are well aware of your gymnastics. You're well aware of what position you were in on your handstand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you finish the routine, you're like, I know that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I know that was good. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's subjective. It's that's gymnastics for
That's
you.
gymnastics, subjective. So that's when that short-term memory comes in. Got to roll it off and keep moving, because what can you do besides just go to the next meet and do your best again?
On to the next. That's all you have to say. On to the next. Okay, so my last question, and I love asking all athletes this question. If you could go back to that little girl, little Gabby, that was running around the gym, climbing over everything, what would you tell her?
Have fun. And two things. Have fun, and you are good enough. You're good enough today, tomorrow, every single day. Because little Gabby doesn't believe in herself enough. And she does not have enough fun. I spent my freshman year too stressed out over the sport. Mm-hmm. That is so much fun. Like I was so surrounded with people having fun and enjoying every single meet. And it's a gift, really. To get to do the sport every single day, that is a gift. And so really enjoying my last year. Like I'm here. It's my last year. It's exciting to get to see all the new people come in, like I said, competing. Like we have 2 more home meets. Then we have senior night. Like they keep asking us senior things. Like, what Leo do you want to wear for senior night? No. So yeah, those are the 2 big things.
That wraps up today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to tune in each week because we will be dropping new episodes from the amazing guests that I have lined up for you. I'm your host, Bridget Sloan, and this is season 3 of Flipping Out with Bridget Sloan. Please make sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Let's make some good life choices out there, and don't forget to be awesome. Bye, guys.